tried to learn a new language? Did you feel like something was blocking you, holding you back? When you were ready to speak, did it just feel like the words wouldn't come out? And maybe when they did you feel somehow like you weren't you speaking that other language? Really, as I've said before, I think language is so much more than language. And we are all so different. All languages are so different, and all of us as people are so different. Just to learn a language, there are so many parts. There is phonology, morphology, semantics, pragmatics, syntax, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. There's also culture and language variation. And when we talk about us as people, there's so many parts of us, who we are, how we think of ourselves, who we want to be, how we express ourselves, how we communicate, how we learn, and how we think. Also, our values and what we want to get across, what we hope to do, and our goals. Really, how to bring all of these multiple parts together is integrative language coaching. Integrative language coaching tries to bring together, and it does bring together, all of the pieces of language as well as all the pieces of you together and integrate them so that they work together in a way that serves you and helps you express yourself to the world in another language. I think often what happens is we think of language as learning a language as those tools and those techniques, which are incredibly important. Tools and techniques and information is incredibly important. But really, it's probably about 20% of the story. The other 80% is the mind. How you think about that information, how you think about those techniques, and whether or not you're even interested, truly invested in implementing those techniques and really searching out the information that's important to you. That's why I have developed integrative language coaching as a way to help us all think through the multiple parts of language and of who we are, and to better express ourselves in another language, and even in our own language, because so often we speak and what we want to say doesn't come across the way we hope. It never comes across the way we want to exactly, because other people's minds are hearing what we're saying in a different way. So it's very important for us to be very intentional and very conscious of the language we use, the way we speak, our tonality, our movements, our inflections. There are so many things that we do unconsciously often that really affect the way people understand what we have to say and who we are in our message. And that's what I'm so passionate about, understanding all of those multiple complexities and trying to use the best of you, understand the best of you, and bring that across in any language. Often people tell me, well, I want to learn English. If you want to learn English, well, English is so big, it's so broad, it's so nebulous. What is it of English you want to learn? What area do you want to learn? What area do you want to act in? What area do you want to understand? Do you want to communicate in? What specific information do you want to be able to convey? Also, what kind of English do you want to speak? From where? Do you want to speak American English or British English, Australian English? What kind of English are you searching for? Also, people tell me, well, I want to not have an accent, or I want to be a native. I can tell you from personal experience, that's a very frustrating and stressful goal. We never don't have an accent. Natives have accents. So our goal, trying to search and asking ourselves, why do people always notice my accent? Well, because you have one. We all have accents. So the question is how we embrace that and we value that rather than trying to hide it or diminish it. We look at our accent and the fact that we're not native. We're not native. If we want to be native, well, that's something else that we want to transform who we are. But what we really want to do is bring you to another culture where you're not native. And that's okay. That's great. Because the non-native perspective has a different perspective. You have a different story to tell. You have different information and different histories to bring. And that's so valuable. So rather than trying to not have an accent or be a native, what about trying to be yourself and bringing that across? Really, I think that's where you're really genuine and authentic, and where people will understand you and the value that you bring to them. It's just such a pleasure as always to talk to you, and I hope that makes sense, and I hope the idea of integrative language coaching is interesting to you. I'll be talking with you in the next couple weeks about different aspects of integrative language coaching and really trying to get to those goals and really trying to figure out your mind. For sure, those techniques and learning styles are very important. And I've worked with language for over 20 years, and I can tell you that some techniques are much more effective and work much better for particular people. But also, when you have your head right, when you're thinking about why you really want to speak, why you really want to learn, what you really want to communicate, and how, you can search and use so many tools. Now there are so many incredible free tools that you can use and so much information that you can take advantage of. Once your mind is ready, you're empowered to search for the best tools for you. I would love to help you along that journey, and even if it's along the journey to figure out how you want to learn, that would be a blessing. I hope this has served you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Much light, much love. All the best this universe has to offer to you. And until next week, ciao, ciao.